Hey friends, it's Jenny, and I'm getting ready to work on this week's A Cherry on Top sketch layout. For this week's sketch, I do want to use my February Collection Obsession kit. I haven't broken into it yet. And like I said, when I introduce my Collection Obsessions, I usually try to get between 2 to 4 layouts done. So we are already, today is the 22nd, I think, so February, short month. It's almost over, so I hope to get a minimum of at least one more done with the collection, but I'll have to find a photo. I've got an idea of what I want to do, but I have to find the right photo for it. Anyway, this week's A Cherry on Top sketch is a 3-photo sketch. And you've got your 12 by 12 background, and it looks like about an 8 by 10 here across the middle. But then it also looks like a band of paper behind the photos. And then I don't know if you can tell here, but there's this band of circles here and here. Let me show you what I'm thinking about doing. Now I have these 3 photos, and I'm going to cut them all down to size. And I'll have to look up the dates to tell you the truth, but look at how little Quinny is. These are, she was directing Papa and Uncle Georgie on how to put together her tent. She was definitely the smart one in the group. Just kidding. But here's this one I'll be able to cut, you know, to 3 by 4. Here's this one, and me wanting to get a picture, and then again the same thing. And you know, here you see her little head, giving them the correct, you know, letting them know what they need to do. So for those half hearts, what I'm gonna do is cut one full one and then cut it in half and use half down here and half down here. And what I'm planning on using are my stacked circle hearts here from scrapbook.com. Now I've used several of these before, which is why you can tell they're loose in the package. Oh, come on. Like, I'm not going to go as far as using that largest one. I think that's just way too big. Let's just take this out altogether. Oh my word. Okay. So I'm thinking I may go as far as probably this outer one here, because it's got hearts on it. So what I'm going to do is just, I'm gonna, you know, tape these together, not tape them together, but I'm gonna go ahead and hook them up together and cut it out, and then it's got the strips, and then I'm gonna cut that in half. I'm going to be using this particular piece of paper because it's already cut into, so I'm gonna tape it down, and then I'm thinking of every other going ahead and using the pattern side and then the red side. So we'll see how it looks. But that's my plan for this. Like I said, this is probably too big, and I probably wouldn't go all the way to this one, but I like the hearts. So that's my plan for the circle portion. I'm going to use these dies with this paper. For behind the photos, I'm going to use the back of some tags. And I don't know which ones yet. It's a little bit more than, you know, just one row, so I want to see how I want to go ahead and figure out how to use those, but I'll be using the back of some tags. Here's the front of them. Maybe I'll turn a couple around, but we'll see. That's my plan for that small strip behind the photos. For the 8 by 10 strip, I'm going to use this stripe paper. I love this stripe paper. So this will be the large piece. I also like the emoji little faces here on the back with the little kisses. So hoping to find a way to use some of this. There is some tickets in the sketch, but I also have, you know, tickets from the actual collection. So we'll see. But that's that. And then I'm going to use this as my background, this nice black piece, this multicolored. Now, I'm torn on this, and let me show you why. I also love this side. I really just love the hexagon sides of these papers. I just think they bring so much. And if you see me switch, you see me switch, but my plan right now is here, 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 and here. So those are the plans that I have, but you know how that goes when you start actually creating. So let me go ahead and start putting some stuff together, and I'll come back here and we'll chat about it. So I thought I'd come back and show you real quick what my plan was with the die. So basically I cut out a piece of paper here to go ahead and mat, you know, put them all down there, and I went ahead and taped them down to keep them in a certain spot and so that they're joined together. So I've got my big shot here, and I do have a magnetic plate here. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on there. And let's go ahead and roll this through. Now that's one thing really nice about having metal dies, is that you can make a lot of your own embellishments, metal die stamps, punches, that type of thing. And I'm just having this go back and forth because I don't want to mess around with it. Normally it's fine, but my one plate is kind of getting warped. I do have it in a magnetic plate for my big shot, so that does help in a lot of circumstances. So let's go ahead and remove our, this is tape by scrapbook.com as well. Let's move all our dies. And so it looks like I'm going to have to maybe manually cut it. Like I said, this plate is getting pretty, oh, look at the little hearts from the one cutout. Is getting pretty warped. So I don't know if I should just invest in another one. I probably actually have another one. Let me scrape all those little hearts off. But I haven't decided yet. And like I said, I did invest in the magnetic platform because I knew that, you know, I'd be using this with a lot of dies. So let's see. Where is this knot coming up? I have my, I don't know where my good one is, but this is here. Let's go ahead and what's nice about this part right here is that it's probably going to be put under the actual tucked under. Let's go ahead and try to get this one here. And I hope more of them didn't do this, because that would be a pain in the behind. But let's see. Sorry if my head's getting in the way there. So here is my thought. Okay, that didn't punch all the way. As a matter of fact, a lot of them look like they didn't. So I'm thinking I'm going to have to invest in a new plate sooner than I wanted to. I could, you know, what are the chances that it would line up again? Probably not very good. So let me, this is going to be too much work to punch them out. Let me think about this for a minute and I'll come back. Okay, friends, I'm ready to add the jewelry, as Vicki Boutin would say, to the layout. Let me talk about it for a minute. Now, I did use a piece of white cardstock to back everything, and I like to do that to frame my layout. When it was just the black, to me, this just makes everything pop more. So what I've done so far, everything is stuck down and glued down. I did use that die, and let's talk about it. So the die that I used, like I mentioned, I got it from scrapbook.com, and it's a nesting die, these circles. Now I cut it a second time because when I was working with it the first time I showed you guys, it wasn't all coming up. So what I did the second time is I put a shim in there to hopefully apply more pressure to cut everything out. And it still did in a couple of places not exactly come up the way I wanted it to. I did still have to use my X-Acto knife to get some pieces up, but I still was able to get what I wanted for this particular layout. And let me show you. So I've already put the love title down, and these are those foamy stickers that you cannot take off, or they will tear the paper. I took those circles, and what I did was the the negative space as far as the die would go. So I started with this one with the hearts, and then there's some space here. Well, what I did is I took the negative space and I flipped over the paper, and I used the red side so that you could see the different, you know, layers as they come along. And the other thing I did, trying to put it down, was a little bit of a pain in the booty. Still worth the effort, is I did put it on a piece of white cardstock. So I laid my layers down and I glued them onto white cardstock. I can tell you I don't love it, but I don't hate it, as I did kind of want the, you know, so for instance here, I would have liked to have that, the pink showing through or the red showing here through, but that's okay. I got what I wanted as far as, you know, I've got the different rings, the different colors from that paper. I did use that heart paper. So this paper here is 11.5 by 11.5. This is 11 by 8. And then I did use a row of tags behind the photos here. And I cut this down to, so it was 369. So this is probably 9 inches. Let me get my ruler. Let's not guess, right? In case somebody wants to. So across, it's 10.5. And lengthwise, it is 8. So, and then this piece is 9.5. So it's 1 inch less than this. So 10.5 by 8. And this is 4 by 9.5. And I put my photos there. Now I accidentally cut my middle photo too small. I don't know, you know, they were all supposed to be 3 by 4, and I'm going along, and for some reason I cut this 3 by 3. Why? I don't know. So to make up for it, what I did is I just went ahead and backed it in the heart paper and then a piece of red and kind of, you know, let it poke up in the middle a little bit. I used the foam title here, Love, and that's actually from the Sweet Talk collection. These are 3 different sets of foam titles that I have Valentine's like from Simple Stories. And I did go through the embellishments and I picked out what I want to use. So for this side of the layout, there is my title. There's looked like it could be a tag or a ticket or some such thing there. So what I've done is I pulled out a couple of tickets that I'm going to go ahead and layer here. I thought about layering them something like this. I've got this cute little emoji hearts there that I thought I would use. And I'll put that up on a little bit of foam tape in a second. And then I also liked these 2 hearts here over, you know, between the L and the O. So that's my thought for here. Now in the bottom, the pieces that I have picked out, in here it's another kind of label, and then it shows a couple of buttons. So for the label, I thought I would use this little file folder here, and I'm going to turn it upside down, and I'm going to extend it a little bit past the photos there. I have another ticket, a little red ticket that I was going to go ahead and use. I don't know when else I would use this cute little gummy bear, so I thought I would use that there, along with a camera. And then with the hearts there, I wanted to go ahead and put 2 more hearts down here. So that's what I'm thinking of doing as far as embellishment. So let's go ahead and get this put down. Now, obviously the way that I've kind of setting this up, it looks like more, I mean, things are in the center, but as we decorate, it's more in a diagonal than the 3 spots. And I'm okay with that. Let me get a piece of foam tape here. I'm refusing to buy more foam tape. I've got several, you know, that I've gotten free at different times that I'm kind of working through that I don't love. but they still work, so I'm just going to go ahead and use them. And I've got several that I bought that I know I love, but I need to work through them and not buy any for a little bit. I do have a lot. Some of them are just maybe a little bit, add a little more dimension that I would like, you know, something that I would maybe like to lay down a little bit more. And some are a little bit higher, but that's okay. So we're going to put him here. I'm going to put the bottom heart down flat. And then I'm going to go ahead and put adhesive on the top one. Or I mean enamel. So we're going to do this. And let's go ahead and get in little. Now these little enamel squares that I'm using at the moment, I got in my She Loves color. Kind of like a 10D bag. And they're okay. Like I said, these are definitely not a kind I would buy. I'd never used them before, so it's kind of nice to know that. You know, so I don't, you know, because we're always looking for the next best thing, right? I know that that would not be something I like to use. So let's go ahead and start here now. Let's go ahead and put down our little file. Now I have to look up the date of these because I don't remember. So I'll have to either get that from my daughter or go look it up myself. I usually like to task her with those things. I figure, hey, I make the layout. You can get me the details, right? You get the benefit of my love here, of my little girlies. I'm just working through, I put a couple of envelopes of photos together to go ahead and get done. And then I'll do the same thing instead of, you know, going through all of them all the time. We gave Mr. Little Gummy Bear. He's got a little bit of height on him now. We'll also put a little height on the camera, but just on the one side because he's going to overlap our little gummy bear. And let's do our hearts the same way we did before. Flat one on the bottom. And I'll put this one on some foam. Tell me, do you have a favorite foam, or do you just kind of use what you got? Or are you ever looking for, you know, the next perfect one? Actually, I really like the foam from the Dollar Tree. So, like I said, once I work through all of this that I have, I'll probably just buy it from there. Okay, so the last thing I want to do is add some enamel dots. Oh, they're right here. So I figured I would just sprinkle these around in our two little areas here. So let's see. What colors do I want to use? Let's use this red. We're going to do a red. And then let's use medium orange. And then we'll use a little green. And then we'll do the same thing over here. So instead of using a large red, I'll use a large orange. And then a medium red. Is that red or is it? Yeah, it is. And then another small green one. So there is my layout for this week's A Cherry on Top sketch challenge. This is using mostly the Simple Stories Heart Eyes collection. That's where the all the paper came from, the paper embellishments. The only thing that did not come from there would be the love title, and that came from Simple Story Sweet Talk. Let me know what you think. Are you going to play along with this week's A Cherry on Top sketch challenge? I love playing along because I love getting those cherry points. And as you know, you go ahead and cash those cherry points in for money, money, money. And because, you know, I'm a liar, liar, pants on fire, who says she's not going to buy anything but does buy things, it helps out. Every little bit helps out. So why am I always so crooked? I need to put some tape on my place here so I know when things look straight or not straight, or, oh, I'm a hot mess. What can I tell you? But that's my layout for this week. Again, let me know what you think. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I sincerely thank you for your time. God bless, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.